Warren Buffett is someone you must study if you are interested in business and investing. His performance as the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway is truly staggering. From 1965 to 2022, Berkshire Hathaway's value has grown at a compounded annual gain of 19.8%. This is double the 9.9% gain of the S&P 500 with dividends reinvested. Over a long time period, like these 58 years, that increased performance can lead to truly outlandish differences. The overall gain of Berkshire Hathaway is a whopping 3.7 million% compared to the 24,708% of the S&P 500. If that doesn't get you interested, I don't know what will. Every year, Buffett writes a letter to shareholders that is packed with valuable information and wisdom. These are must-read letters. Buffett just released a new letter to complete Berkshire's 2022 fiscal year. Today, I'm going to share 3 lessons from Warren Buffett's new annual letter. One of these lessons are dividend-focused investors will love. Buffett calls this the secret sauce. Let's roll the intro. My name is Zach and you should leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Lesson 1 from Buffett's latest letter is about investing mistakes and the quote, creative destruction of capitalism. He emphasizes that Charlie and him are not stock pickers, but business pickers. While this important distinction is where they get their long-term edge, it does not mean that you are void from messing up. Buffett says, quote, over the years, I have made many mistakes. Consequently, our extensive collection of businesses currently consists of a few enterprises that have truly extraordinary economics, many that enjoy very good economic characteristics, and a large group that are marginal. Along the way, other businesses in which I have invested have died, their products unwanted by the public. Capitalism has 2 sides, the system that creates an ever-growing pile of losers while concurrently delivering a gusher of improved goods and services. Schumpeter called this phenomenon, quote, creative destruction, unquote. This is a vital principle to understand. You are always fighting the creative destruction of capitalism. Your once great business may have lost its advantage and be on the way out. This is the shifting playing field which can make investing mistakes hard to avoid. Buffett goes on to say, quote, at this point, a report card from me is appropriate. In 58 years of Berkshire management, most of my capital allocation decisions have been no better than so-so. In some cases, also, bad moves have been rescued by very large doses of luck. Our satisfactory results have been the product of about a dozen truly good decisions. That would be about 1 every 5 years, and a sometimes forgotten advantage that favors long-term investors such as Berkshire. Let's take a peek behind the curtain, unquote. Lesson 2 is about the long-term compounding of winners. Buffett calls this the secret sauce. He explains, quote, in August 1994, yes, 1994, Berkshire completed its 7-year purchase of the 400 million shares of Coca-Cola we now own. The total cost was $1.3 billion, then a very meaningful sum at Berkshire. The cash dividend we received from Coke in 1994 was $75 million. By 2022, the dividend had increased to $704 million. Growth occurred every year, just as certain as birthdays. All Charlie and I were required to do was cash Coke's quarterly dividend checks. We expect those checks are highly likely to grow. American Express is much the same story. Berkshire's purchases of Amex were essentially completed in 1995 and coincidentally also cost $1.3 billion. Annual dividends received from this investment have grown from $41 million to $302 million. Those checks, too, seem likely to increase. These dividend gains, though pleasing, are far from spectacular, but they bring with them important gains in stock prices. At year-end, our Coke investment was valued at $25 billion, while Amex was recorded at $22 billion. Each Each holding now accounts for roughly 5% of Berkshire's net worth, akin to its weighting long ago. Assume for a moment I had made a similarly sized investment mistake in the 1990s, one that flatlined and simply retained its $1.3 billion value in 2022. An example would be a high-grade 30-year bond. That disappointing investment would now represent an insignificant 0.3% of Berkshire's net worth and would be delivering to us an unchanged $80 million or so of annual income. The lesson for investors: the weeds wither away in significance as the flowers bloom. Over time, it takes just a few winners to work wonders. And yes, it helps to start early and live into your 90s as well." Unquote. In this passage, Buffett explains the massive impact of a long-term winning business. As it compounds, these winners massively override the potential mistakes along the way. With his examples of Coca-Cola and American Express, both the dividend growth and capital appreciation is immense. With Coca-Cola, he is more than doubling his initial investment every 2 years from dividend payments alone. This funding has given Buffett capital to acquire more businesses and increase his future earning power. I made a video that outlines this exact concept with even more examples and explanations. For example, Buffett's 2016 investment in Apple seems to have already proved to be one of these winners. That's in a video titled "Why Warren Buffett Loves Dividend Stocks." I would definitely recommend you watch that after finishing this video. Lesson 3 from Buffett's new shareholder letter is about the impact of share repurchases. He outlines this both at Berkshire and the public stocks they own. Also, he provides a detailed explanation of the concept, finishing it off with a jab at politicians who want to limit the practice. Buffett states, quote, "A very minor gain in per share intrinsic value took place in 2022 through Berkshire share repurchases, as well as similar moves at Apple and American Express, both significant investees of ours. At Berkshire, we directly increased your interest in our unique collection of businesses by repurchasing 1.2% of the company's outstanding shares. At Apple and Amex, repurchases increased Berkshire's ownership a bit without any cost to us. The math isn't complicated. When the share count goes down, your interest in our many businesses goes up. Every small bit helps if repurchases are made at value accretive prices. Just as surely, when a company overpays for repurchases, the continuing shareholders lose. At such times, gains flow only to the selling shareholders and to the friendly but expensive investment banker who recommends the fullest prices. Gains from value accretive repurchases, it should be emphasized, benefit all owners in every respect. Imagine, if you will, 3 fully informed shareholders of a local auto ship dealer, one of whom manages the business. Imagine, further, that one of the passive owners wishes to sell his interest back to the company at a price attractive to the 2 continuing shareholders. When completed, has this transaction harmed anyone? Is the manager somehow favored over the continuing passive owners? Has the public been hurt? When you are told that all repurchases are harmful to shareholders or to the country or particularly beneficial to CEOs, you are listening to either an economic illiterate or a silver-tongued demagogue, characters that are not mutually exclusive." Unquote. He may have ended with some harsh criticism, but Buffett's defense of share buybacks is of course completely logical. The principle makes so much sense in the startup and private business world as Buffett outlined. That aspect is not even debated. But when it comes to large corporations in the public market, people beg for it to be treated differently, as though there are not still owners who may want to increase their ownership stake and sellers who are willingly wanting to abandon their position. Without buybacks in the public market, dilution is the only lever available for a corporation. If you're allowed to issue shares to raise money and dilute your owners, why would you not be allowed the opposite force? Investing your business funds to increase the ownership stake of owners. That seems balanced to me. As Buffett says, when a company overpays for repurchases, it's the continuing owners who lose. Market forces are at work. The 3 lessons I shared today are only part of Buffett's most recent shareholder letter. He goes on to provide much more insights about Berkshire's business, his partner Charlie Munger, the American tailwind, and Berkshire's large contribution to federal taxes. I recommend you read the full letter and it will be linked in the description below. Thank you for watching Dividend Data. You can sign up for dividenddata.com to use my stock research software and join a Discord community of like-minded investors. If you want to learn more about Warren Buffett, watch my entire playlist or the video linked here. Thanks for watching.